Attention Social Security and SSI recipients. If you did not receive an economic impact payment for your eligible spouse or dependents, you may need to file a 2020 tax return with the IRS and claim the recovery rebate credit. Go to ssa.gov/EIP to see if you need to file a tax return and if eligible for other refundable tax credits, like the child tax credit. That's ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Welcome to GigRadio, the new music podcast from GigRadio. Hello, and welcome to episode 13 of GigRadio. In this episode, we've got an interview with British metal band Defences talking about their brand new single. We've also got an international mix of new music from as far afield as Australia, Canada, Mexico, Finland, Hungary, as well as music from a couple of brand new, exciting British bands.
Hi, this is Lizzie from Searchline, and you're listening to Gig Radio.
First up, we usually like to start the podcast with our current new band of the week. This time, we're going to start with new music from an upcoming new band of the week. This is a band called Dead Romantic, which sounds super emo, but the Manchester band offer up a blend of pop metal and alternative rock, of which our latest taste is their brand new single, Yesterday.
Picking up the jagged little pieces, pulling splinters from my bleeding heart. We were like a car crash full of reasons why we're better off apart. One of us can and the other one lied. You were standing in line for the one they killed us. Mess with my mind, baby, time after time. No, you never were mine. That's how you look. I'm alright, won't close my eyes. I could die.
That was Yesterday by Dead Romantic, which gives you a taste of their debut album, which will be out in June. Now, we featured Hertfordshire band Defences numerous times at Gig Radar. First, as our new band of the week in September 2017. We've been to loads of their gigs over the last few years, and we interviewed them in the very first episode of this podcast. The band just released their latest single, Something More. They described it as being the start of a new era. So we sat down with vocalists Cherry and Will and guitarist Callum to get the lowdown on the new track, filming the music video underwater, and their experience of collaborating on Zoom calls throughout the ongoing lockdown. And stay tuned after the interview as we'll play you the new single straight after it. Hey guys, I'm here with Cherry, Callum and Will from Defences. Hey guys, welcome along and great to be chatting with you guys again. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Great to be here.
Great. To begin with, for anyone who's new to Defences, do you just want to give people a brief introduction to who Defences are and the kind of music that you guys play?
Sure. Callum, I
feel like Cal would be best to introduce it.
That sounds good to me. So we're Defences. We're an alternative metal band from Hertfordshire. We've been going since 2014. But, in the last few years, we've really sort of changed our sound. I think it's for a lot of sort of contemporary metalcore fans. I think they're really enjoying it. It's basically anyone who likes singing, likes dancing, likes moshing. There's a bit for everyone, I suppose.
Screaming.
Yeah.
Can't get screaming.
We'll come on to that the kind of change of style later on. I think there has been a really interesting kind of shift in kind of your guys' music in the last few years. So mostly we're recording this at a time where in the UK we're kind of on the path out of lockdown. So I thought it'd be remiss of us not to talk about what you guys have been doing like the last year or so during a year of lockdown. Have you been busy working or just focusing on music or kind of learning any new skills or anything like that? What have you guys been up to?
I feel like it's a mixture of all three.
Yeah, definitely.
I think between the five of us, we have all been working, writing music, and probably all gotten new skills. It's been a really, really interesting, 15 months or so.
Yeah.
Didn't see it coming, that's for sure. But it in a way has actually been quite beneficial for us. We were given time for things that we didn't think we were gonna have, that extra time for, and that actually ended up being really, really beneficial for us. So yeah, it's definitely been productive, I'd say, on the writing side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. It's been a challenge. Keeping things fresh as a band while it's basically not allowed for you to do anything. But we've sort of made the best of it and kind of kept active. We've had some truly legendary Zoom calls.
Oh God, yeah.
which honestly would make your hair turn white. It's ridiculous.
Epic in the sense of the word, that's for sure. We've come out stronger, and I think we're really sort of in a good position now for the year ahead. Yeah, we've learned like a lot of new ways of working together, which I think has kind of helped. It's certainly helped shape like Something More, for example. Considering it was a song that was kind of written before lockdown and then revised during lockdown, so I think that like that extra time definitely made a difference, and we learned a lot of like new ways of working together through that.
Cool, that's good. So you mentioned there, Will, you mentioned Something More. The main reason we've got you guys on today is to talk about the new single, which was released last week. I saw you describe the new track as the beginning of a new era on Facebook as well, which sounds exciting. So what should people be expecting from the track, and what are you kind of alluding to there when you're talking about a new era?
Ooh, good question. Well, oh God, there's so much to it. I guess I'll let Callum talk more about the music side of it. he'll probably give a better answer than me on that. But in terms of like, I guess sort of the defensive story side of it, it's the start of, it's really the proper start of our next chapter as a complete band. You know, I feel like the EP was sort of a transition sort of period, and yeah, we're past that now. So what comes next is Defenses, you know, really and truly Defenses, and that is just really exciting to me, because I feel like it's something that we've been working towards basically since the inception of the band, which was quite a while ago now. So yeah, it's definitely the start of a new era for us.
Cool.
Yeah, I think in terms of the music side, it's definitely a bit heavier. I think there's probably more of like it's like a bit quicker paced, and there's a bit more aggression in something more. But yeah, it's an interesting one, and it's I think it's the first song that, well, since the EP, obviously, I mean, it's the first song we released, it's the EP, but it's different, but it's something that we still put our hat on and say this is Defenses. And it's really exciting to be coming up with new styles for us. You know, even sort of 5 years into doing this, or 6 years or whatever.
Yeah, I think
exactly.
Like you can definitely, like, if you listen to like the way the songs were released on the EP, for example, when they were still singles, you can kind of, it's almost like you can see the stepping stones towards the sound now. So I think it's quite interesting to see now where we've landed. Now, like, that we're kind of like a very solid unit.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, the new track sounds awesome. So yeah.
Thank you.
Staying with the new track though, it's got an interesting video where Cherry and Will are both in big water tanks. It looks really scary. And I was talking to Kyle earlier today, and he was telling me that, Will, you nearly drowned doing the video, so maybe it was actually scary. So interesting to get your thoughts on what was going on with the video theme and how scary it actually was doing it.
I think, Chairs, if you start off, because you were the first one in the water, it was like a gradual process there.
So I'll be honest, I was a bit nervous going there that morning. The place was really, really cool. Under the Water Media, I think was the name of the place. Really cool place, and the tank was really impressive. So like going there, meeting all the guys and looking around, all of that was really fun and exciting, and finding out that like Adele had been in that water tank and stuff like that. That was really like, wow. But then when it was, okay, you need to go in now, then I was like, when I first hit the water, that is the moment that I remembered that I hadn't swum in years, and like genuinely had for a split second forgotten how to swim. So that was an interesting moment. But after that,
I was going to say the worst bit being is that you had to go in backwards. Like the first time she went in, she had to drop in because she had to look like she was going in for the first time. So my first experience of going into that water tank was falling into it backwards.
Was it cold water as well? Was it cold?
Oh no! It was nice, body temperature. It was lovely.
Luckily.
I feel like it was when I got over that initial sort of shock and realized I had to swim. Then it was really, really fun, and I could have spent all day in there easily.
Like Cherry's parts were like getting those were a little bit more important in terms of the video kind of brief. So there was the potential that I was kind of like, if we don't have time, then it's not the end of the world kind of thing. So luckily, obviously, we got everything we needed. So for my part, it was kind of like, not that I felt pressured, but it was kind of like, okay, I need to get these parts done, and I want to make sure that there's like enough for the videographers to work with. So some of the parts where there's like longer passages, I was just kind of like just going for it. And I think that's where Kyle was saying like I almost drowned, because I just was like, I need to finish this whole part, and like I got to like the third line, I was like, oh, I'm okay, and then by the end of the fourth, I was like, oh god, like I'm on reserve right now. So that scene of me rising up in the water is the pain is real. The pain is real.
Yeah. Genuinely, I would be under the water for like, maybe 15 seconds at a time, if that, before having to come up for air. And I'm the one, belting and stuff. And then Will's there. And genuinely, for like almost an entire verse is under the water, and we're like, okay, are you gonna come up now? And he just keeps on going. It's very impressive.
I had the best time that shoot, because I'm obviously, aside from the dry performance, I didn't have anything to do except to like ask Will and Cherry to do things, and like, it was so fun. I mean, I actually learned a lot, because the guy who ran it was telling us about buoyant and non-buoyant people. So not only did Will and Ches have to stay under the water screaming it, they were actually attached to a weighted belt.
Yeah.
So because they kept floating to the top without it. So there was a safety diver on call he was there in the water with them for the whole shoot. But yeah, it must have been quite scary. I was having a whale of a time.
But, you were the wave generator.
Yeah, I was the wave generator. I was
important job.
I was having a cracking time, but
dash around a bit.
But yeah, I did feel a bit sorry for them where they come out looking like drowned cats and with this massive weighted belt around them. But no, they really smashed it. It was very cool to see it coming to fruition on screen.
I've got to say that the worst part, personally for me, was because obviously we had to have our eyes open underwater the whole time. I had to drive back for it was like an hour drive. I don't know if Cherry, if you felt this as well, but my eyes were burning on the way home. And it was quite a nice winter day. And so like, not only did I have the sun to contend with, but my eyes were just like tearing up as I was driving. I was like, maybe I should stop and have like an hour break, but I just powered through, and I was like, I'm going to sleep for like the rest of the day.
I was gonna say the video shoot was like an experience that I'd never had before, so it was like really awesome and everything. But actually, I forgot about that. That was also something I'd never experienced before, having really, really cloudy eyes whilst driving home, and every single light looks like basically like the sun or like a star with like loads of like flashes coming off of it. It was weird.
Probably wasn't safe to drive, but
overly safe.
Yeah, we're
I
safe.
I got home fine, but weird experience.
Sticking with videos, I heard you were finishing up some video shoots earlier this week as well. So what else is coming our way with those videos? Or are you like to tell us?
I mean, it's probably a bit premature to go into them. I would say a lot of things to be excited about, that's for sure. A lot of things that you haven't seen from us before. But I don't think it's the time to say anything more than that, probably.
Okay.
Cool. All I'll add to that is that you don't have to wait too long.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I was looking back today. The first interview we did with you guys was way back in 2017, which is just after you released your debut album with Might and Main. In that, you talked about taking influence from like pop and, the production side of pop and electro-pop singers like Melanie Martinez and Sophia Karlberg. So I wondered if you could tell us a bit more about how you go about producing Defence's music and how that production process has kind of evolved over the last few years.
That's one for you, Cal, I think.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I suppose it will give you an insight into the lockdown as well. But initially, it would start with myself and the drummer Kyle. We'd go and we'd work on things sort of from the beginning and sort of build them from the ground up, and then bring them to the other guys. So our bassist Harry can have his bit, and then also so that we can have the singers work on it as well. And then from there, we start with something that's half finished, and then we completely change it once everybody gets involved, and it kind of becomes a very collaborative thing. That obviously had to change over lockdown. So it became very much about sending each other ideas and sharing sessions and going through it all over Zoom. Just ad nauseum. It was a lot of time spent on Zoom.
Can you see my screen, guys?
But yeah, we just thought there's nothing else to do, so we'll just keep writing in lockdown, and it was very productive.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, have you gotten used to doing it now? Is it has it improved the way you kind of write music?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, completely. We still haven't got back to, being able to go round to each other's houses or to Carl's studio and work there. So we're still doing it. We're still in that phase. So yeah, it's definitely the way we've produced music has definitely changed in terms of how we come up with ideas. It's more like it will just take messing around. I mean, it looks to the untrained eye like we don't know what we're doing. Which perhaps
final mix _ .wav.
Yeah, we kind of muddle through and eventually end up with something that we deem to be releasable. Yeah, I would say that's more or less it.
And in terms of the sound of Defense as well, we touched on it earlier, the fact that your sound has kind of changed from the early. I listened to your debut EP earlier as well, and the sound of that compared to the new music is it's completely different, isn't it? So, how do you think your early music has kind of evolved into kind of the new songs that you're releasing now?
Well, for one thing, I'll say that right back in the beginning, then we definitely didn't know what we were doing production-wise. I can say that for certain. But no, other than that, we were just finding our feet. We were just starting out, so it was just a case of writing the kind of stuff that I guess we would have wanted to listen to back then. In that kind of like writing style, and sort of just seeing how that was received, seeing what people liked, what people didn't, and then obviously our own tastes are changing constantly, and they obviously developed over those initial few years. So yeah, it kind of just sort of happened naturally, I guess, that we went in a different direction.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. In the original interview we did with you guys as well, one of the things that Carl mentioned was carrying a positive message in your music, things to do with overcoming adversity. And one thing I thought was really interesting was singing songs about topics that people wouldn't normally talk about. I think at the moment that's become even more important and kind of maybe more prevalent over the last year or so. Like, people are more aware of issues and like adversity and overcoming these kind of problems that we're all going through. So do you think that's become an even bigger thing for you guys to kind of want to do with your music?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, definitely.
I know. Like, Cherry usually comes up with the kind of concepts of these recent songs and stuff. So yeah, it's been a lot more introspective, I think. I don't want to talk for you, Cherry, but I feel that's the impression I get when I then, go through and edit some of the lyrics or some of the rhythms and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's become a bit more personal, if that's what, if I had to put it in a word, that would be it.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Another thing that's kind of become really big not big this year, but it's been really important this year, is things like social media and streaming platforms. In our last podcast episode, we spoke to Colin Duran, who was in 100 Reasons and various other bands as well. So we're talking about how important the streaming platforms are for new bands, and in terms of bands getting the music out there to new people and new fans. So it'd be interesting for your guys' thoughts on how important these mediums have been to sharing music with people, especially when you're not able to get out there and perform and play gigs and get your music out there that way.
Oh, I mean, they're crucial.
Yeah.
It's the way of the world. I mean, certainly with the massive guns like Spotify, Apple Music, and all of that. That's obviously like how we release music, but then also increasingly, I personally found it extremely interesting seeing the progression of online shows and seeing how very quickly the production value went through the roof. And I think it's going to be really interesting over the next sort of 12 to 18 months to see what the split ends up being and how many people still want, how much demand there is for kind of online shows in comparison with live shows.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen? Do you think, like, personally, would you want to do online shows if you're able to do live gigs?
I mean, if it was the right time, I mean, I think for us, there's no substitute for getting out and playing to people who care about our music.
Yeah, I think they kind of exist in a separate.
Attention Social Security and SSI recipients. If you did not receive an economic impact payment for your eligible spouse or dependents, you may need to file a 2020 tax return with the IRS and claim the recovery rebate credit. Go to ssa.gov/EIP to see if you need to file a tax return and if eligible for other refundable tax credits, like the child tax credit. That's ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
When done right, I almost feel like it shouldn't replace the live scene, because that's so. Yeah. It's all about going out, really. Going out with your friends and seeing some music that you like. At the end of the day, if the band is good and you enjoy them, at the end of the day, that's a bonus. As a punter, this that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an experience, isn't it? Going to a live show, it's an experience that is really irreplaceable, I think. And
exactly.
Yeah, being able to, not just listen to the music or not just watch it on a screen, but really experience the music there in person with other people, with the artists, is an extremely important thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think getting back to gigs is going to be awesome, isn't it? I can't wait to go back to the first gig and see bands again.
Even just socializing after this last lockdown seems like a godsend.
Exactly. Talking of gigs, do you have anything planned with that regard, or what else do you have coming up that you're able to talk about?
See, I had this question the other day, but I don't know if there's anything that's actually been announced yet.
Yeah, there's. I don't think we have anything that's been announced. I suppose again, all we can say is that there's going to be a lot of defenses on your screens this year.
Good to know.
And hopefully
stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah, and hopefully in a few venues nearby as well. But yeah, there's nothing that's announced yet.
Cool. Thanks a lot for your time, guys. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? Anything else you think people should know about defences?
One thing I'll say is that a really important thing to us, especially as we go into this new era, is building and growing our defences family, our community. And obviously at the moment that is primarily online, and the way that we're focusing on that is through our Facebook fan group, which is called The Heart. So if anyone is interested in joining that, then yeah, they can check that out on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll be posting lots of like behind the scenes stuff and like all these little kind of anecdotes from our video and stuff like that. So
yeah, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, lots of defences memes and stuff as well.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks a lot for your time, guys. Really appreciate it. And looking forward to hearing more from you guys soon.
Thanks
so much, Rob.
Thank you so much. Cheers, dude.
No choice but to believe that this isn't the case. I'm reaching out, I'll take the steps. This is just how I've always felt. I'll push you down, I'll admit I'm scared to let someone dig around. And it'll hurt me now, but I'll heal somehow. When did this become the new normal? I am filled up with so much rage. So many thoughts too late for me to change. Didn't wanna be this way. This cycle needs to break, so what will it take? Please show me the way. When did this become my normal? I have filled with so much rage. Tell me it's not too late for me to change. End up this way.
That was Something More by Defences, which gives us plenty to look forward to from the band. And thanks again to Cherry, Will and Callum for chatting to us. Next up, we're going to transport you over to North America. First, we'll play you a track from Canadian hardcore punk meets thrash band The Slime, which will follow up with the latest track from Mexican metal band After Silence.
Hi, I'm Bill from Circus.
I'm Lindsay from Circus, and you're listening to GigRadio.
All the memories will start to die, and I feel alone. Please don't ask me if I need you now. I'm lost in faith. Lost in faith. I am lost, I'm lost in faith. Get under this is you try, all will bring down that golden throne. Come up with this on your rivals. I see all corpses of the humble ones. There's no place on earth for the truth. The burning love keeps straight. This world has no This world has no Lost in faith. I am lost, I'm lost in faith. Now I have the crown. Lost still on the throne. Spell on the throne. Spell on the throne. There's no place on earth for the truth. The burning love keeps straight. This world has no This world has no Lost in faith.
Welcome back. That was Lost in Faith by After Silence, who were the first Mexican band we featured on the website back in February. Before that, you heard Flesh and Blood by The Slime, who we'll be featuring in an article on the website, gigradar.co.uk, in the next couple of weeks. We're going to bring things a little closer to home now with a couple of new bands from Europe. First is a Hungarian band called Before We Fall, who we just published an interview with over on the website. Then we'll play you a track from Finnish band Luna Kills, who we'll be writing about in the next couple of weeks or so.
up? My name is Chung from Windrunner.
I'm Nam from Windrunner.
And you're listening to Gig Radio.
There's snakes under my skin. They're under my skin. I can feel them crawling when you stick your tongue in. The red light is making me mad. Yeah, it's making me break. Like I'm sinner and you're a saint. They both know how this game is played. Like fine wine, and I chuck your waters down all the time. All the things that you make me say, the stories you told, all the parties I stayed. You're such a liar, baby. You're such a liar. Keeps on thickening, like breathing in water. Your money is tight, I'm not backing down. You gotta pay what you bring. And as we're playing out the scene, no man as your hair's been trashed, and you're in a position to judge me on my sins. Like fine wine, I chuck your words down. Not this time. All the things that you make me do, the stories you told, so I will please you. You're such a liar, baby. I'm burning those bridges and there ain't nothing you can do. 'Cause in the end there wasn't anything left from you. Oh, yeah. Why tell me more of those memories that we went through? Whoa. There's nothing left to
That was Liar Liar by Luna Kills, that's Luna Kills, which comes from their debut album that's out in June. Before that you heard Healed by Fear from Hungary's Before We Fall, which is the lead track from an EP that's out on the 30th of April, so it's probably out when you're listening to this. Next up is one of Australia's most exciting new rock bands. This is a band called RedHook, with the title track of their debut EP Bad Decisions, which was released last week. Despite the catchy nature of the track, lead singer Emmy Mack describes it as being her theme song that she wrote when she was, quote, depressed, trapped in a spiral of self-destructive behaviour and making a lot of questionable life choices. This is Bad Decisions by RedHook.
I'm a fucked up mess, feeling angry and depressed. I make bad decisions, I make bad decisions. Anxiety drugs, youngest self would be mortified. 'Cause Captain Planet told me to say no. Oh, what happens when you like roll into a fucked up mess? Feeling angry and depressed. I make bad decisions. I make bad decisions. I make so much debt, so I'm getting off my head. I make bad decisions. I make bad decisions. Shit, why did I get drunk again and get it on? Yeah, with all my friends. Got with my best friend and his roommate too, and his roommate's girlfriend. Hey, hey, what's wrong with you? Hey, hey, what's wrong with you? I'm a fucked up mess, feeling angry and depressed. I make bad decisions. I make bad decisions. I make so much debt, so I'm getting off my head. I make bad decisions. I make bad decisions. Okay, now since you think I'm trying to glamorize all of this shit that I just like about myself, 'cause my mental health is tenuous and best from all the pressure and the stress of other people's expectations. I'm crushed by your weight, so I self-medicate to escape, but I just make more mistakes. Can't break the stupid cycle of self. Hey! These are my confessions. Someday I'll learn my lesson. These bad decisions haunt me, but they make good stories. Fucked up mess, feeling angry and depressed. I make bad decisions. I make bad decisions. I make so much debt, so I'm getting off my head. I make bad decisions. I make bad decisions. I'm a fucked up mess, feeling angry and depressed. I make bad decisions. I make bad decisions. I make so much debt, so I'm getting off my head. I make bad decisions. I make bad decisions. I'm a fucked up mess, feeling angry and depressed. I make bad decisions.
And that is a banger of a track. That's Bad Decisions by RedHook, and it's out right now on their debut EP. We've got one more track for you, bringing things back to the UK with another band we'll be featuring on the website very soon. This is a band called Saints Among Us, who blend metal and rock with electro and pop influences that all come across in the new single Hallucinations. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Defences for chatting to us, and continue to do your bit to support new music by checking out all the bands featured in the podcast. Goodbye for now.
They all seeing things that I shouldn't be. When will the darkness take over me? It won't be long. Too blind to see what you're doing to me. I think this time that I go. Maybe I'll leave and I will be free. But where do we go?
Thank you for listening to Gig Radio, the new music podcast for new rock and metal around the world. If you liked what you heard, please leave a review and subscribe for more. And head over to GigRadio.co.uk to find out more about the bands featured in this episode.
Attention Social Security and SSI recipients. If you did not receive an economic impact payment for your eligible spouse or dependents, you may need to file a 2020 tax return with the IRS and claim the recovery rebate credit. Go to ssa.gov/EIP to see if you need to file a tax return and if eligible for other refundable tax credits, like the child tax credit. That's ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the name your price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.